Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we run down all of the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our site from the past 7 days. Just a heads up, we have an interview coming this week, as well as the week after, following on from the one we did last week with the guys at Fusion Sports Performance. We got 2 in the works, 2 great ones. Hopefully we get them done and online. We don't know what order they're going to be in, but one is with the guys at Cellucor, and then another one is with the Skinny Food Co., who we've mentioned several times on this show, due to the fact that they've just been killing it this year as one of the most consistent, creative, and interesting functional food brands on the market at all, as far as we're concerned. And so it should be good to hear and talk to the team over there and, I guess find out what the drive is, how it's going, what's to come. And so that'll be this week and next week, one each, but definitely coming soon. But to kick our weekly podcast off with a recap of the week, we're going to start with the Clash of the Cans winner. I mentioned last week that we had the winner. It was going to be an entirely new winner, as last year's champion C4 Carbonated was knocked out in the semifinals against Rain, leaving Rain to take on the last year's runner-up with the Rays after an intense contest with somewhere around in the realm of 100,000 votes, if I'm not mistaken. Rain came out on top. It was an intense battle. It was fun to watch, fun to be a part of, fun to put it on. It was cool to see Rain now obviously gets the bragging rights and our first ever custom bronze trophy. We'll be sending it out to them this week, I believe. But congratulations to Rain. And as I mentioned before, thank you to everyone who got involved, had it, whether it be a brand, whether it be someone who voted. We do it all for fun. We do it all just to give the industry some interesting things to do and put on. So hopefully everyone enjoyed it, and it will of course be back again next year. We'll jump straight into the news, and we actually have quite a bit of news revolving around one brand. But the first story we've got comes from Bang. I think we mentioned it previously. If not, Bang has been teasing a new flavor of its flagship energy drink, the high-powered Bang, 300 milligrams of caffeine. The brand teased it with like a lime green color, a sky blue with touches of pink, and so our guess was actually something lime or kiwi or even a mix of the two, purely because of the lime green. It turns out we weren't too far off with our lime guess. The brand has put together a key lime pie flavor, which I thought was one of the more interesting flavors I've seen them do, with Rainbow Unicorn and Birthday Cake Bash. Birthday Cake Bash, Rainbow Unicorn and Radical Skedaddle. You kind of got there's a bit of mystery to it, right? It was like you didn't quite know what you were getting. You just knew that it was something interesting. And so the flavors are always quite surprising. On this occasion, they've named it after something specific, something that we can relate to, something we all know about with key lime pie, a traditional key lime pie. And they've put it into an energy drink, apparently. And the thing is that they are saying that this isn't a lime flavor. This is very much a key lime pie flavor. The brand itself described it as a true key lime pie-like flavor, right from the key lime all the way through to the pie crust taste, which it makes me very intrigued by this one. I've seen a lot of the flavors. Some people like, some people don't. Some of them are hit or miss. Some of them are like 50-50. So I'll be interested to see what the reaction is on this. It's a very unique flavor. You can get it now from their site. They announced it last week and they made it immediately available at bang-energy.com. So obviously you'll be able to see it in all the usual stores and stockists in the coming weeks, but that's the new flavor. Sounds interesting. Not a flavor, even if they delivered on key lime pie, I would probably leap at, but obviously there's a flavor for everyone out there, and I think Bang's just continuing to show it a bit of creative flair and do something interesting. So yeah, you can check that one out on the site, on the brand site, and so on. Next up we got is something we touched on last week, and that is Glaxon. Glaxon announced its season 2, which is basically like a sequel for the brand. It's a complete revamp. It's a retooling of the entire lineup, which is a huge undertaking. They hinted at it earlier in the year, but we didn't expect it to be happening this year, at least before the brand turned 1. But they have indeed pulled the trigger. They cleared their Instagram out, replaced it with some entertaining comic strips. So basically what Season 2 is, exactly, now that we've got a little better idea, is I think we mentioned it previously as well, but basically Glaxon's going to be just tweaking its entire line of supplements. Kind of like what Core's been doing most of this year with rebranding the line, and with each rebrand it's made some changes. Some things have been kept the same. Glaxon is, from my understanding, rebranding slightly each supplement. They'll still be very look and feel very much like Glaxon, but there'll be some minor changes to the labels to, I guess, make it feel more like a sequel, but still very much Glaxon. And with those rebrands will be little tweaks. As far as I know, all of them have been tweaked in some way. And the flavors, I believe they're going to be improved as well. And in between all of this, they're dropping a bunch of new supplements. And so this past week, Glaxon basically did its first act under the sequel, under the Glaxon Season 2. It introduced a new version of its Pump Enhancer, Pump Pre-Workout Plasma Surge. They basically revamped the formula, switched a few things around, added a few ingredients, increased the dosage of some. You can check this label out on the site. It does look pretty solid. It's got a huge dose of citrulline. Well, not huge, but definitely up there, mostly because it isn't citrulline malate. It is pure citrulline at 6 grams, I think. But it's 6 grams. They spread it out on the label. They have like a 2.8 in this by itself, and then they have like another 1.2 in a blend, and then another 2 grams in another blend. That's just spread out, but combined you get 6 grams per serve. They have a few other things as well, with Vasodrive AP, Citria, glutathione is in there as well, arginine, and another feature that they have in here, and this leads on to the second part that we have to talk about for this whole Season 2 of Glaxon, is that in the supplement there's a blend of electrolytes, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the word on this one, but it's a long one. You can read it on the site, but yeah, there's a blend. It's called Astrolite, and basically the brand launched the new Plasma Surge earlier in the week, and then pretty much a few days later, to round out the week, it then dropped a standalone supplement called Astrolite, and as you could probably guess, it does feature everything that's in that. That features all the same ingredients that the Astrolite blend has in Plasma Surge, but in a supplement all on its own. But more importantly, the dosages are quite different. So in Plasma Surge, the blend weighs in at something like 1.5 grams or 1.55, whereas in Astrolite, the standalone supplement, the blend is much bigger at 6 grams. So you're getting pretty much all the same ingredients, but roughly, well, thereabouts 4 times the dosages. So it's a pretty solid, well-rounded supplement geared at supporting hydration. It's kind of a category we've seen a few brands enter. Not something we'd seen many enter in the past, but definitely over the past year or so, we've seen a couple of supplement companies come out, put together dedicated, complex, comprehensive formulas, which I thought was quite interesting. So yeah, you can check that out. But those 2 supplements are now available: the Plasma Surge V2, which is the revamped Plasma Surge, and Astrolite, both on the brand's website. But as I mentioned, this is just the start of Season 2 for Glaxon. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing things motoring in the next month or so pretty intensely. I just wouldn't be surprised. They've been pretty not quiet, but frequent over the first half of the year, and then this kind of bomb drops, and as you saw in the early stages of Glaxon, they dropped a lot of new supplements quite quickly, quite frequently, so you know the power and the ability and the flexibility they have So I imagine we're going to see more of that in the coming months, especially if they're going to revamp their entire lineup, which is quite an extensive lineup. If you weren't familiar with it, they cover a shitload of categories, and they've done that right out of the gate. So yeah, stay tuned. Keep the site on lock as always, and catch on everything that we post about it. The next story we have comes from the UK. This is the legacy brand CMP. Now, back when we did our Stack Pro Expo, CMP had a teaser on its page about a supplement that was kind of hyping and teasing as just something really big, something very important for the brand. A few words and descriptions they used led us to believe it was some sort of high stimulant intense pre-workout. And this past week, they basically dropped a confirmation of that. Then they dropped a full preview image that we could get detailed look at. And we found out that it was exactly what we suspected, with a high stimulant intense pre-workout called Stim Junkie, or it's like a spin-off of Ignition, which is the brand's regular stimulant pre-workout. And that name is on the label, but Stim Junkie is kind of like the main name, Stim Junkie or Ignition Stim Junkie, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a they didn't reveal the full formula, but they confirmed the name with Stim Junkie. They also named confirmed what kind of ingredients you were getting in it, and so basically it is indeed what it's called, a high stimulant intense pre-workout that's very different from anything else the brand has done in quite some time. They're calling it their edgiest release in company history, and this company has been around for 20 years, so it's a pretty big move. It's all going to come down to, I guess, how intense the formula is and their perception of intense, right? It's one thing to say this is high stim or a high amount of caffeine. It's another for it to actually be that. Everyone's perception is different. My idea of high stim might be different from your idea, and so on and so forth. So while it is very exciting, and them saying this is the edgiest and most intense pre-workout to date, I'm more intrigued to see what it actually turns out like in terms of formula and the ingredients dosages they've put together. If they actually do put together what I'm hoping they do, I always hope for the best for any brand. So fingers crossed, even when something don't look that great on label, I always hope for the best if I make an effort to try it. But yeah, they I'm hoping for just a solid mix of high, intense, full-blown stims. Something that you wouldn't expect from a legacy brand, regardless of whether it's CMP in the UK or any other legacy mainstream brand in the US. I'm hoping for something that you just didn't expect from them, because this category and this type of pre-workout isn't what you'd expect. Again, they're a very legacy mainstream brand, and they stick to widespread or things that apply to everyone. So I'm intrigued to see how it turns out, and I have my fingers crossed for something exciting, as always, as I do every week. So yeah, now the last story or stories we have all revolve around one brand, and that is none other than Ghost. Ghost has probably had, one of the best year I've seen it have in forever. Since they started, they've always, their signature has been doing quality releases, right, and just hitting them out of the park. I'm not that great with the history, but I know that they did like one or two every year for the past few years, and they've nailed it. They weren't, they didn't do a pump pre and a creatine and then a stim free fat burner and a post workout, and they didn't fill the space with things that didn't take long. They put a lot of effort into these launches, and that's what they focused on, and it's been always awesome to see them do that. But this year, it's almost like they've squeezed 2 years into one. It's been absolutely crazy. They did Ghost Greens, which is I would say the best tasting potent greens out there in terms of ingredients. It's got a solid formula, one of the strongest out, one of the most well put together out there, and it tastes amazing. I've tried the lime flavor. I'm not a fan of lime, but that thing was drinkable, and it's like really, really good, really drinkable. So I can imagine if they did a flavor that I actually like, that I'm going to be blown away. I know there's guava berry, which I have yet to get my hands on, but heard good things. And that was just one of them. They had Ghost Greens, they did Ghost Gamer, which while it wasn't it didn't match up to the intense nootropics that I've had. it delivered on the point of what it was trying to do. It's a solid supplement you could take for gaming for great energy, reliable energy, and solid mental focus and alertness, attention. It was great. They did exactly what you need to do. They gave you all the benefits you need. You couldn't knock it for that. And then they did Ghost Glow, which again was was impressive. It was very interesting to see them do that, dive into a category that not many people are getting into. There have been some here and there, but to put together their kind of, bring their flair and their touch and their quality formulation to that category was awesome. You can't forget Burn Black, of course, which is their special edition version of Burn with a little more thermogenesis in there and natural caffeine, if I remember correctly. We've seen a whole bunch of flavors, awesome collaborations, and that was the first half of the year. And that was a huge amount of effort for a brand that size and still like on the up and up. I've been impressed. I have to say, and in coming into the second half of the year, typically brands not necessarily like blow their load, but they put a lot of effort in, and then you can see things slow down or not be able to keep up the pace. And Ghost is really keeping their foot on the gas. And I'm obviously talking about their new energy drink, Ghost Energy. That product not only came onto the market this month, but is now available in a variety of stores. You can pick it up. I think, there's quite a few stores, more to come obviously, but we posted about XN Subs, who you can head to and grab it from at a pretty solid price too. Considering like when you look at the likes of America Energy and 3D Energy, the price that you can get this for is actually pretty solid. XN Subs has it for $3.50 a can, but when you buy 12 or 12 plus, the price comes down to $2.24 each, or was it like $26.80 something for the case. And we grabbed a whole bunch because I'm very excited to try it, but that's a solid price. I mean, it's right in line with a couple others out there. But you obviously get more ingredients in the Ghost one. Like with most of their supplements, they put together a solid formula for this. I'm mostly interested in taste and flavor. I'm really eager to see how this one turns out. They said they got more flavors coming, but it's kind of like G Fuel. G Fuel tastes nice. It's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of how light and sort of smooth and creamy, if that makes sense, the flavors are. But I guess if you like that, you're going to like all their flavors because they have that kind of theme throughout. But then, like I said, 3D Energy, one of my favorite energy drinks out there. So it's no surprise that I like the first one. That same kind of carbonation, sweetness, flavor, intensity is the same across all the flavors. So I like pretty much all of them, bar like one. So I'm interested to try it. Again, check out XN Subs. I think the site's xnsubs.com. They had stock of all 4 flavors: citrus, mango, Sour Patch Kids, and Warheads Watermelon. And again, 12 plus gets you $2.24 each. And you can, I think we bought 4 or 5 of each, maybe 4 of each. And that price, I believe, applied. But again, solid price, solid deal. Well worth getting on them. But as mentioned, Ghost Energy will be coming to other stores. But as exciting as that launch has been, and as big as that launch has been, as I said, Ghost isn't really showing any signs of slowing down. They look like they're about to pretty much deliver the same kind of first half of the year in the second half, which is going to be exciting. And this past week, alongside the launch and availability that's gradually rolling out of the Ghost Energy drink, Ghost confirmed that it is working on another beverage, and I'm not talking another flavor. While they have mentioned there are other flavors for the energy drink in the works, they are also working on a protein RTD, on-the-go protein shake. And we posted this, and I mentioned in the story that this could potentially be pretty damn big. I've tried protein RTDs and shakes from all over the damn world, just here, there, and everywhere. And Europe has always been, in my mind, the leader. That you do get a little bit extra carbs and fats and sugars and this stuff, but they're still pretty lean, and the taste of them is just mind-blowing. Grenade's Carb Killer Shake is to die for. The Barbell's milkshake is another one that's just amazing. And you don't really get anything that I would consider in the same realm in the US, just nothing even close. Some of them are like they have better macros, not like overly great better macros, but they are better. But the exchanges obviously doesn't taste as good. And so I've always felt that Europe and their tastes and their shakes has just been a little bit better than the US, and Ghost coming along with the power and the reach and the, I guess, the modern take and the new age brand that it is, has a great opportunity in front of it to just, I'm hoping, like I said, I really hope the best for any launch, is that they just knock it out of the park like they can, and come through with something that puts them on par with what you get in Europe. And they're distributed in the UK and Europe very well, so I would hope that they come through. And what I'm even hoping for more is they bring some of that authentic flavor and collabs to them. You've got Chips Ahoy, they have the protein powder, they got Nutter Butter. God, I'm just drawing a blank on all of them, but on most of them. But they do a lot of these, and obviously you've got their cereal milk flavors as well. So these would be cool things to see translate and just delivered superbly in the RTD format. In the UK and Europe, you do actually have the Snickers protein shake and the Mars protein shake, which, if I remember correctly, are quite high in carbs and sugar. But again, it's a trade-off, I guess, for the taste. But I think I only tried them a few times. But again, the grenade ones and the barbell ones are just category leaders by far. So I have high hopes for Ghost, and they've got a great opportunity in front of them if they pull this one out and just knock it out of the park. And like I said, Ghost is known for putting together premium individual launches. They don't really fill holes with moderate stuff that they could just knock out over the weekend. They always put together high quality stuff. So I'm just hoping Ghost does what it does with this and puts the US market in terms of protein RTDs on the map. And yes, I mean, like I said, they said that they're only working on it right now. They haven't mentioned where it's going to drop. Just it's in the works, which could mean anything. Could be out soon, could be out later, could be a while. But that news is exciting, especially since they just launched the energy drink, and that they're already working on other beverages. So I'm hyped to see that one come into reality. The last bit we have to touch on, again, keeping within the Ghost realm, is to round out the week, Ghost announced an all-new supplement. And it is something that I always hope for this type of supplement from every brand. And it's a simple, not really a simple, just an essential, everyday, well put together, comprehensive multivitamin. And so that's what Ghost has come out with. It's called Ghost Multi. I would say it's one of the first essential stuff that they've done since the Ghost Omega from like way back. They don't have it anymore, but it was a mega formula. Came out back in the day, very well priced, very competitively priced, great quality. And that's pretty much what they've done here, although I haven't seen the price, but I can imagine that, knowing Ghost, always putting together stuff that's within reason and price, and the formula doesn't look like it's they're blowing their load with a whole bunch of extra things here and there. Still just keeping it comprehensive, premium, well-rounded like Ghost has. And as I said, they've done Ghost Omega in the past, and that was very well priced. So I suspect this one's going to come in at a good price. I'm hoping it is. To be honest, I'm a big fan. I take multivitamins year round. I think the one I'm on right now is NutriBio's Athletic multivitamin. I can't remember the name. It's the sport one. There are a few good ones out there that I just constantly rely on. Make sure I have with them everywhere I go. This might even take the place if it's right in there. The formula looks solid, and the Ghost has built that reputation where you can trust that they're going to give you what you need. You can check the full combination of ingredients on the site. They've got 21 different vitamins and minerals. A lot of those are premium branded ingredients. There's the Trax Minerals, if I remember correctly. They've also thrown in the Lutemax, which is sort of a eye health, vision support ingredient. You would have seen it in XP Labs, XP Sports, the one from Iovate, the gaming brand. Black pepper's in there to help with absorption and boron. And there's a veggie blend as well for a premium branded veggie blend called Phytosurf. So I think they've done a pretty good job putting this one together as far as vitamins go, multivitamins, nice variety, solid extras. A little bit different from your typical one, I guess, to make it stand out, give it that premium touch. So yeah, it's I believe that's launching this coming Thursday as well. So you'll be able to get your hands on it directly from Ghost itself through its website. It's launching in the US and the UK and Europe through those respective websites. I didn't see any mention of it for Australia and the Australian website, but that's not to say it's not coming. It's obviously a bit further and longer to reach, but again, that's not to say it's not coming. So yeah, you can check out all of those products on the site. Even if you just click one of the Ghost stories, we have tags on each post, which you can click on and see sort of every post and that related tag, if that makes sense. And Ghost is there. You can check to see every story from Ghost. You can even see every story from a multivitamin and so on and so forth. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be one hell of a close to 2020 for Ghost, and it's really exciting to see a brand do this. Typically, you see companies speed things up, kick things off, put all their effort in at the start of their launch and then debut, and they tend to slow down. Ghost kind of seems to be doing this in reverse, where it just seems to, I wouldn't say year from year, every year, but it's just been on the rise slowly, just in terms of frequency, releases, excitement, hype, and they've been exciting the whole way, but they just really, really, really kicked it up a notch this year. And it's been exciting to see. So stay tuned for more information on Ghost, as I'm sure there are more stories coming. We'll be sure to cover you. And as mentioned, I think we'll be getting the Ghost energy drink in this week or next week. And I'll be really happy and excited to drop that one because, again, highly anticipated product and really excited to see how it turned out. But thank you for tuning in. And as mentioned, we have interviews coming this week and next. So stay locked. And once again, thank you for listening.